Okay, let's talk through shoulder press when it comes to dumbbell shoulder press. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. If something is written in your program, overhead press, dumbbell shoulder press, barbell press, military press, these are all basically forms of overhead pressing. Few things. I'm going to go through dumbbell version here. I will talk through barbell and other options as well. But one thing I want you to know is that a lot of people do not have the shoulder mobility that it takes to actually press overhead like this. And what happens is we end up using our back quite a lot to try to get the weight overhead, when in fact we should be trying to keep everything stable and just have our arm doing the movement. So that's the first thing. And that's why I'm going to tell you how I would tell most people, general population, to press overhead with dumbbells is to keep your palms inside like this, like a neutral grip when you're holding the dumbbells, rather than forcing this if you feel like maybe you are a little bit restricted with that. A good way to test this, first of all, would be to go against the wall and just put your elbows against the wall like this, a little bend in your elbows, you're not hiked up here. So just elbows to the wall and then try to touch the back of your hands to the wall as well. If you cannot get the back of your hands to touch the wall with your elbows touching as well easily, then you probably want to avoid the overhead pressing that I'm talking about, especially as you get heavier. And just really simply just move your grip or your movement to inside into neutral position. Okay, so that's the first thing, is with dumbbells you can do out here if you feel like you're pretty strong with your shoulder mobility. If you feel like you use your back a little bit, you're kind of flaring at your ribs, you're really like not comfortable with it, by just switching into here you might find it more comfortable. So if we're to do standing, that's where you have to kind of take into account that you do have to have good control over, let's say, your core, because that prevents your back from doing this big arch to help you get overhead. So if we were just to do a normal shoulder press like this, we can just press overhead, control on the way down, breathe out on the way up, breathe in on the way down. What a lot of people do without even realizing it is they will press, but they're pressing out here. And when they're using light dumbbells, they get away with it. When you try to increase your weight and try to get to here, let's say my arm's in line with my head or my ear, what happens is people start to go like this and lean their back to try to get the dumbbell overhead. So you thought this was a simple tutorial. This is not. This is me giving you all the caveats. So basically what I say is have your palms facing your head to keep it nice and simple. Keep your hips from being out here, try and tuck them under. So imagine you're pulling your hips under and you're pulling your ribs down as well. And then you're just going to use your shoulders. You're going to breathe out as you press overhead, breathe in on the way down. If you're going to rest mid-set, so like you have 8 reps to do and you're on set, or you're on rep 4 and you're trying to rest, don't rest down here. Rest up here. Lock your elbows out, catch your breath, and then reset. Breathe out, breathe in, nice and controlled. Breathe out, and in. If you are not able to tuck your pelvis under, ribs down, imagine I'm going to punch you in the stomach, that like tightness at your core. If you're not able to get into that position, I really would say definitely palm facing your head when you're pressing, but also maybe sit and do a seated shoulder press so that you're not standing. It takes a little bit of the stability away from your core having to work harder if you're not used to it. So you can either sit on a bench or you can even do the kneeling version. So go down onto your knees or go into one knee and do opposite arm and do single arm. Main things from this, dumbbell shoulder press, breathe out on the way up, breathe in on the way down, nice and controlled always. Don't rest here. Make sure that when you're pressing, you're not pressing out here. So you want to stand beside a mirror to maybe see if you're able to actually get to here. You can test that yourself against a wall to see if you should be. Opening your arms out here into external rotation of the shoulder. If you are able to, great. If not, just bring it a little bit closer. You're still going to get a benefit of it, especially when you are like starting out or you're not going super heavy with your lifts or anything. And that's pretty much it for now for the dumbbells. As we go in and do demos for like the barbells and different variations, there'll be a few more little cues, but the main things I want you to know are just about the position of your hands, your core engagement, so your back's not taking over, and breathing out as you press, the hard part. Nice and controlled on the way down. Sometimes you just get people going through the motions. That's not what you want to do. You want to feel what you're actually doing. You want to press and feel like, can I control that movement on the way down? Where am I feeling it? Get to here, straight back up, breathe out and control. Hopefully that's useful.